When I began this, I did talk about that this is the Grail, but I said just as well, it could be tarot. Now, why I said that was because in this book here, the Arthurian Tarot, about King Arthur and the Round Table and so forth, this has the legend of King Arthur Tarot in here. So, in other words, everything that is in here is about tarot cards, but it relates specifically to King Arthur and the Round Table and all of those who are with him. And you will find in here not only the cards themselves and what they mean in that tradition, but also you will find lessons on that particular card for you yourself to investigate. So that is something very important because in the Arthurian legends, part of which, by the way, is written by a person named John Matthews. Now, John Matthews happens to be an excellent source because he's considered one of the best experts on the Grail tradition of all people, because he's written this the Elements book. Only those that are very, very good are chosen for these element books, and he was one. And this is all about the whole history of the Grail tradition from beginning to end. All the things that you can do with the idea about the Grail and so forth. And he goes all through them. And he even quotes Manly P. Hall in here as well. And he does say that the Arthurian legend, even though it's mythology, is the actual best source for understanding what the Grail is. So you see why I said it could also be tarot. But in this book here, it does take the card, which is normally called the Wheel of Fortune in most tarot cards. But in this place, it doesn't look like the Wheel of Fortune. Now, if we're investigating other tarot, we will know what the Wheel of Fortune is. But this card does not look like that normal tarot card. Now, I'll show you what the actual card done in this. This is card number 10, usually the Wheel of Fortune. But this is what it looks like. So you see? Notice that. This is like the big stone monuments from ancient times that are worshipful places. This is the round table of King Arthur, and here are all of the angels and lights above it, which are from the spiritual world. So this one card has all of those dimensions in it. And this one card is the one that's studied in this section of the book of the Arthurian tarot, the complete. And one thing it says in here, which is quite interesting, of course, this whole thing is very interesting, but it says the first meeting place and assembly points were probably the stone circles, such as Stonehenge, which Godfrey de Monmouth says was magically transported by Merlin from Ireland as a memorial to Arthur Pendragon. Such legends are not without foundation, for we know that such megalithic monuments were indeed the focus of seasonable assemblies. It is Merlin also who speaks of the making of the round table after the fashion of earlier tables, including the table of the Last Supper within the Deuterocanon Parsifal. He speaks there also of the third table, which is made by Joseph of Arimathea, the table of the Grail. We see here these three tables superimposed one above the other: the stone circle, the ancient sacred assembly, the round table, and the medieval Arthurian legend, and the starry circle, which is the gathering point for the disincarnate archetype who mediate the powers of the Grail. When all these tables are aligned, then all levels of life are likewise harmonized with the cosmic laws governing our world. Now, that is what this says about that particular card, which is normally called, of course, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, if you look at other tarot cards and other decks and so forth, they will be called the Wheel of Fortune, but you will not hear them called the Round Table. But you see how close this is also to the Grail and to the importance of the Arthurian legends in relationship to the Holy Grail. So that's why I say we could have called this tarot, but we have chosen to call it Grail.